Cayleb Peck, and these are my two brothers, Brady and Alex. We were raised in the back seat of a Jeep, and ever since we were little kids, we have been obsessed with anything that has to do with off-road. Soon as we were old enough to turn a wrench, we've been building our own Jeeps. And all the buying, selling, fixing, and wheeling has kept us close through the years. So here we are telling our story in hopes to inspire others to get off-road. You're watching PeckBrother Off-Road. What's up, guys? We're up here at Brady's working on the Jeep again. Today, we're gonna work on the steering wheel, we're gonna work on tranny coolers, we're gonna work on a whole bunch of other stuff, so let's get into it. So basically, we gotta take this old wheel off first. Wow, I need a phone. On a 1998, my steering wheel, you gotta have a 8mm socket here. There's 2 bolts back here. Oh, we're already falling apart. Awesome. Then this thing comes off here. It's just garbage. So when you get that off, now in here you've got a shaft. I already took the nut off in here. Hopefully I can find it. I took it off a while ago, so hopefully it ain't gone. Got to throw a puller in there and get this stock wheel off. And I don't really care if it breaks the steering wheel, because if it does, we got a new one going on anyways. There's pretty much 2 companies that I found that make a steering wheel setup for a Jeep TJ. GenRide Off-Road and NRG Innovation. I don't have the price of a small house to pay for my steering wheel, so I went with NRG. Basically, I got my wheel, the quick disconnect, and the hub for, I think it was about 380 bucks for everything.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Just the hub from GenRide is $400. Now, I'm not saying it ain't worth it. Their products are phenomenal. But for guys with empty pockets, NRG was what I went with. All right, so we got the steering wheel here. Woo!
Wow, you weren't kidding, Lloyd. She's an angel.
We went with the red anodized with the leather. Then we ordered our short hub here. This will go onto the Jeep, just like that. And then mounted to this, we have our red anodized quick disconnect for the steering wheel. So this will mount to the hub, and the steering wheel will mount to this quick disconnect spacer, just like that. All right, so we got problems. Puller that I have is not working right. It ain't made to pull a steering wheel or nothing, but I don't want to go get a steering wheel puller because it's a long ways to the parts store. So I got an idea. So what's happening is every time I put the puller on this shaft and spin it, the bearing that's on the tip doesn't spin and it basically just rolls off of this here. So what I did, I found something that will fit perfectly over this. I'm gonna throw it in the bandsaw so it can go all the way through. Then I'm gonna put this on and put the puller threads in through this so it basically houses it, makes it so it can't slide off either way. Now this here is what we're left with. Put this on here like so and crank this cap. Woo. What? Well, I just busted this. Here's the piece right here. Yeah, so it looks like I do get to go buy a steering wheel puller. I love doing stuff twice. So I had to run clear into town and go buy a steering wheel puller. So she's on, and hopefully it comes off. Oh. Dude, that thing just spun right off. I've had it. I probably could have smacked that thing with a hammer and it would have come. That thing zipped right off. It goes to show for some reason when you have the right tools, it'll actually work.
Get out of here. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Problem now is I completely screwed these threads up. So I'm gonna have to bust out the grinder and re-bevel the edges. All right, so I got the hub on. I just left the wiring kind of coiled up in there in case I want to run the horn. This has the ability to run the horn. So now I just gotta throw on the quick release hub. All right, now that the hub's on, now's the fun part. We can throw the steering wheel on. So there's something that's pretty cool. I just turned 21 like a couple of weeks ago, and my mother-in-law knows that I'm doing the Jeep thing, and she's so supportive. She gives me 150 bucks for my birthday and says, spend it on some Jeep parts, because I know that you'd appreciate Jeep parts more than anything. So I bought that steering wheel, and every time that I touch that steering wheel, I'm gonna think about that 150 bucks when I turn 21. Now it's got some sentimental value to me. That's what the Jeep is all about. All right, now we can check that off the list. Next, I got to put these here, these spaceship contraptions. These are actually for my vents in my dashboard. So basically when I built this cage, I sent the roll cage A-pillar down through the dash. And I didn't think that there was any way that I would be able to use these vents. Well, Brady talked my dad into figuring out how to do it, and I wasn't even around and I didn't see it. They came up with this. My dad cut it out and Brady put this heat duct tape. So I got the dash all back together, looking beautimous. Oh, I only used like 40% of the bolts that came out of the dash, so I was able to put it together with a ton of efficiency. All right, so I'm working on the tranny cooler, trying to get the tranny cooler mounted so Brady can run the plumbing and we can get this baby fired up here soon. So there's a couple of good places to run it, and I'm actually running 2 tranny coolers. I'm running the tube tranny cooler with the fins on it, like this here. It's gonna run through this one, out of this one, and then into this one here. So basically, I'm pretty worried that my tranny is gonna get too hot. Pretty worried that it isn't gonna cool and we're gonna have to pull over everywhere because we're pushing 43-inch SXs in the sand. It's gonna get hot. So if it doesn't cool, I'll take the other cooler out, the one with the fan on it, and I'll put a dual fan. What's the company that makes those, Braid? D-Rail. Dual fan D-Rail. My dad actually just got one for his Jeep. He's actually gonna come put it in. This is what it looks like, the dual fan. So I don't have time to get one here, so I'm just gonna go with what I got. We'll throw it in. If it doesn't work, we'll put that one in it. So there's a couple of places on the Jeep that it could go. Actually, there's only 2 places because there is no room on the Jeep. Huh, Braid? Not much. Hardly any room. So the first place is towards the back of the Jeep. So back here, it can pretty much go right here, but it's really close to this drive line. And if we have driveline issues and bust it, it'll take out the tranny cooler and then we'll really be in some serious trouble. So the only other place that it can go is right here. So yeah, I'm gonna try and make something that's gonna tie into these 3 bolts here that were for the air conditioner, and then these 2 bolts up here, and it's gonna kind of sit on an angle. So that's what I'm working on. So the first bracket I'm gonna make is gonna fit in there. All right, so I just got this cat made. Throw this in. So I'm just gonna use these old bolts just for mock-up until I get some new ones. That is gonna work like a dean. Perfect. All right, so now we gotta make the piece that's gonna go on the bottom. So I got this piece cut out. We're gonna throw this on. I've had it. This hole don't line up. Pure dirt. That's all right, we probably don't even need that. Perfect. All right, now I'm gonna test fit and make sure that this thing will still fit in there. All right, this here. All right, heck yeah. I think this will work. The hard part is trying to mount this cooler. The other tube cooler isn't gonna be as big of a deal. I'm gonna definitely have to try and find a good spot for it, but it probably isn't gonna be nearly as hard because it's a little bit tougher. It can be in harm's way a little bit more. It doesn't really matter quite as much where that one goes. This one is the biggest deal. So now I gotta make a plate that this cooler will bolt to. All right, it fits perfect. So now I just gotta throw some bolts in it, throw it back in there and make sure that it'll fit. We got it in there and I held it up. Brady tacked it on. This is what it looks like. It's sitting down in there, he threw a tack on it. Now I just gotta connect that top plate to the main plate. So I just cut this piece out to fit in between the little piece that's hooked to the motor and the big plate that's hooked to the tranny cooler. But while I was doing that, look at what Brady put on. That looks gorgeous.
That turned out pretty nice.
Dude, I am stoked about that. It's got like a texture to it. It's black, it goes with all of the theme in there. Dude, stuff's getting tight. And he just finished the brake lines. Absolutely textbook. They go down there, and then they come up into these bulkhead fittings that are mounted to the tub, and then their flexible line into my cutting brakes. Absolutely flawless. And the reason you know they're flawless is because this guy did them.
It's the guy spending the money on the nice parts.
There's a reason that we do what we do, and it's because the oldest Peck brother, all we wanted to do when we were little kids was be him. That's the kind of stuff that he does. So for any of my fabrication, any of my credit at all, goes all to him. This is so hard to get in here and tack this, but I have to, or this thing's gonna look like junk. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Got it. That's gonna look like absolute garbage. That's when you just kind of point and shoot, and then grind it. And then mess. Weld the block. I think it's gonna work there though. Now let's hope I can get it off without breaking the tacks. Got this baby welded up. And now it's time for a little bit of weight reduction on it. Alrighty, she's all ground, had a nice weight loss surgery, and here she is. She ain't the most gorgeous thing around, but hey, it's gonna hold that tranny cooler. So that's what it looks like in there. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I so appreciate you guys following the build. If you could share this video, it would mean a ton to me. We just hit 300 subscribers and I'm stoked about it. But if you could hit that share button, share it with some buddies that you think would like it, it would mean the world. Thank you so much for watching it. We'll be back.